Arcadia and Post scoreless after 20 minutes of play as we get set for the second period here at Hatfield Ice. My name is Paul Gronowski, and thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon on GoMaxSports.tv/Arcadia. No scoring in that first period, but lots of shots. Post getting 12 on goal, all stopped by the Arcadia first-year Ryan Croshaw. Meanwhile, Arcadia 10 shots at goal, all stopped by freshman John Simon, who's making his collegiate debut for the Eagles. Just one power play in that first period. That belonged to Post, and they went 0 for 1 and really never got it out of first gear. Post did get 2 shots, but nothing too dangerous at Croshaw, and Arcadia with a slight edge at the faceoff dot, winning 12 compared to Post's 11. Arcadia also blocked 9 shots in that first period, helping out Croshaw, and it's 9 different players with a block shot for the Knights. Arcadia in the home white, Post in the away purple. The two teams have changed ends, and we are underway with the middle 20 here in Colmar. Arcadia a 4-1 winner yesterday when these two teams squared off. The Knights scoring 3 times in the final 5 minutes. And Cody Mistake tangled up with an Eagle. That was Hope, just standing in front of the post slot. Not quite sure how that happened. But meanwhile, here come the Eagles through Kennedy. He'll play behind the Arcadia net where Michael Benkovitz gets pinned to the boards. Puck dug out by Kennedy. Tries to walk out in front, thrown out in the slot, and the puck goes careening over the net. Somebody out there without a twig. That was Cole. He now has a stick back in hand. Cole in possession, able to get it forward for Battaglia. Battaglia had the game winner yesterday. Drops it for Cole. Backhands in on goal. Pad save Simon. Rebound controlled by the Eagles. They try and come out with speed 2-on-2, but Howell beats Norling in. Tell you what, that's some great jump by Jacob Howell, the senior, going from his end of the ice and then able to beat Parker Norling, the junior, to the Arcadia blue line. If that play had been onside, Howell might have had a great chance if Norling could get him the puck. But instead, they're offside, and Arcadia wins the neutral zone draw. Arcadia coming into this game second in the MAC in face-off winning percentage, a shade under 56%. Meanwhile, Post not too shabby either. They're the Northeast 10 leader at 51.8. Here's Burback at the red line. Goes far side for Iannucci, who's tripped up, and we'll get a penalty against the Eagles. Iannucci draws the penalty, and a minute 25 into the second period, Arcadia will get its first man advantage of the afternoon. And it's Parker Norling, the guilty party. He'll sit for 2. Arcadia yesterday 0 for 1 on the power play, getting off 3 shots. Connor Williams scored shortly after their power play expired. For the season, Arcadia 2 for 23, 8.7% on the power play. That is 8th in the MAC. Meanwhile, Post penalty kill stellar, 19 for 20, 95%, tops the Northeast 10. And Post has killed 12 straight power plays. Here is Williams. He is one of the power play goals this season for Arcadia. Williams, right point. Shot from the faceoff dot, smothered by Simon. Rebound goes into the corner. Puck rolls free, and then it's pushed past Williams in on Croshaw. Both teams in the middle of a change. 40 seconds gone on the Arcadia power play. Here's Cole breaking free from the dot. Shot, save Simon. Rebound, Cunningham couldn't control it. Now spinning at the top of the faceoff circle and controlled by Post and McQuegan. Here's McQuegan. Shot, and that's gloved aside by Croshaw under pressure from Williams. Last season, Post scored 5 shorthanded goals. None so far this year, but they can threaten while playing down a man. Here is McQuegan. He gets there first ahead of Cole. Battaglia able to sweep the puck free for Cunningham, but it's chipped out by the Eagles. Croshaw, long outlet pass for Battaglia, trying to catch Post in a change. Throws one across for Cole, saves Simon, and the rebound controlled by Post in the high slot and taken out. We know Ryan Croshaw can play the puck. He scored yesterday for Arcadia, and a great pass for Battaglia led to a good chance for the Knights. And this will be icing as Montague beats Battaglia to the dots. Just over 3 minutes gone in the second period, and Arcadia's first power play of the game is down to its final 15 seconds. Power play at home this season for Arcadia, 1 for 15. And that goal belonging to Matt Verspeten, scoring it against Misericordia. Verspeten not in the lineup today for Arcadia, one of 8 changes made by Ryan Heckert. Norland coming out of the box in 1 second, so the Eagles get the kill, and that's 13 straight by Post. Here's Hadawanak in his own zone, trying to spin away from Swain, nearly lost the puck, and it ends up with Jared Shooter with his back facing the wrong way, try to get it forward, taken away by Montague, and he's shoved off the puck by 2 Knights. Shooter goes into the corner, gets pinned by his fellow 14 Montague. Glove down by Garrett, he'll try and skate it out, and does. Up ahead to Naidu. Here's Theo Naidu cutting into the middle, gets to his forehand fan on the first attempt, and then made the second one in on goal, and Simon covered it. Theo Naidu made his collegiate debut yesterday for Arcadia and looked really good despite not scoring. Naidu, a first year from Edmonton, Alberta, spent 3 seasons with Grand Forks in the KIJHL, winning that league's championship last season. And during that campaign, Naidu, 8 goals, 15 assists in 56 games. And a big hit, Garnsey taking an eagle to the ice, but Post coming up with speed. Noble shoved off the puck by Hadawanak. Now banking it off the glass is Santino Capone, kept in by Pacheco. That puck hit Garnsey. Follow-up drive, that hits another Arcadia player and goes into the netting. And now is McMains with his shot going off of Garnsey. Bradley McMains, 1 goal and 1 assist this season. The goal coming in a 2-2 tie against St. Michael's on November 21st. Last season, McMains lit the lamp twice, appearing in 15 games for Post. Fourth line out there for the Eagles. They win the faceoff and force Croshaw into a pad save. This puck played into the neutral zone by C.J. Bachman. Second line out there for Arcadia. Here's Schweitzer off the glass and back into the post end. This will not be icing. Hope finally getting to the puck, and he'll play it for the Eagles. I wasn't sure if he slowed up because he thought it was going to be icing or just because he had time. This puck touched on by Howell. Croshaw able to play the bouncing puck and then sweep it out of harm's way. This puck too far for McQuegan, but McQuegan getting it back from the chip by Williams, and it's behind the Arcadia net with Schweitzer. Now it's Williams. Up ahead for Bachman. He goes cross ice for McFarland. McFarland able to catch up to the puck, hit the brakes in front of Kennedy, and then gets shoved to the glass. Iannucci battling against Santoro. Who can work this puck free? We played 5.5 minutes in this middle period, still scoreless. And after a long battle, the puck comes free to Burback. Burback steps into one, saves Simon, and the rebound careens into the near corner. Iannucci able to stop the puck. Sends it to Cunningham. Cunningham snapshot into the breadbasket of Simon, and that halts the play. Ryan Cunningham picked up an assist yesterday for Arcadia in the 4-1 victory. Now has an assist in 2 straight games. A sophomore from nearby North Wales, Pennsylvania, scored twice against Misericordia in the opening weekend. The first 2 goals of his college career. Puck work free by Arcadia. Turnaround shot pushed wide by Battaglia. Kept alive by Cole. Now behind the net for Mistay. He loses the battle for the puck. Now can Post get out? Being turned back the other way was Scotty Swain. He tried to get it forward for Mateo Pekka. Third line out there for Post. Haven't seen too much of them. And here come the Eagles with the puck. Swain tried to dance around Burback, instead got hauled down, and we'll get a penalty against Arcadia. Good work by the sophomore Scotty Swain. Kept his legs moving, and he drew the penalty against the first year from Lincoln, Nebraska, Grant Burback. So Post will go to its second power play of the afternoon. They're 0 for 1. They got away 2 shots in the first period. Still looking for their first road power play goal of the season. They are now 0 for 12 after failing to score on their first one. And a good start winning the faceoff by Santoro. Over to Kennedy, gets it down low for Swain, they score! A beautiful play off the faceoff, and it's Scotty Swain cutting to the near post. And as beautiful as the goal was, the pass by Aiden Kennedy just as nice. And for the second time this weekend, Post leads 1-0. And for the sophomore from Baltimore, his first of the season and first since January 24th of this year, when he scored twice against Southern New Hampshire. And now a couple of players getting their sticks up on the faceoff. It's Garen Howell going at it at the red line. Post went scoring first this season, 2-2-1. Arcadia went surrendering first, 2-2. And as I said, Arcadia scored the first goal yesterday in the first period. This shot played by Croshaw back into the neutral zone. This puck lofted into the Arcadia zone by Hope, now controlled by Hudawanak. Hudawanak's outlet pass blocked by McGuigan, and now it's Garnsey from behind his own net. He drops for Hudawanak. Hudawanak playing this fourth game this year, chips the puck into the neutral zone. Kennedy gloved it down and then got knocked to the ice. The puck is under him, dug out by Naidu, and sent into the Eagles zone by Hudawanak. Here's Shooter. Puck flutters behind the cage. Simon was going to catch it, but instead lets it drop behind his cage. Stuff attempt at the near post, kept out by Simon, thrown out in front, Williams scores! A minute 9 after Post takes the lead, it's the senior co-captain Connor Williams nodding us up at 1 with 12:38 to go in the second period. For the senior from South Lyon, Maryland, his third of the season, and now has a goal in 3 straight for the Knights. And that's the best response possible for Arcadia. They're not down very long, and it's a whole new hockey game as this puck is just tipped away from McMains by Croshaw. McMains knocked down from behind by Michael Benkovitz. Now Cloud takes down an Eagle. That's Montague trying to get back to his feet. Now here's Cloud, nearly turned it over to McMains. Cloud off the boards to the goal scorer Williams, and he'll bank it off the boards and out. Jermolenko in a foot race to the puck, and Simon with a smart play. Jermolenko getting too close to Simon for Post liking, and now Jermolenko, the sophomore, having to take on a couple of Eagle defensemen. So after a scoreless first period, a goal by each team in quick succession has us knotted at 1. Nearly 8 minutes gone in this second period, and cooler heads prevail. Well, maybe not. Someone's going into the box for Post. The Arcadia penalty box door isn't open. So did Jermolenko maybe just create a power play for the Knights? Connor Murray is being posted for 2 minutes, as right now the officials over at the Post bench talking to Tim Richter. So Arcadia gets the goal, and now we'll go to their second power play of the contest. And this will be a rather lengthy discussion, as it's Connor Murray, one of the alternate captains, serving as captain today. Post captain Tanner Glassrud not playing at all this weekend. One of two Eagles who has not played in either game, the other being Egan Rieger. Well, I should say two Eagles who have seen significant time. Both Rieger and Glassrud have played in the first 6 games of the season for Post, but they both get this non-conference weekend off. So it's officially Murray for roughing. Arcadia to the man advantage for the second time. Bachman out there to take the face-off for the Knights. Here's Williams on the pinch to start the power play. It's Williams, left point. Played along the near wall. Tried to center. McFarland able to get it free, and it goes back to Williams. Iannucci able to play it around the far wall. Bachman turns it back for McFarland. Bachman to the point for Cunningham. Over to Bachman, they're playing catch. On his backhand, it goes to McFarland. McFarland skates up the far wall. He gets turned back by Pacheco. 2 Knights in there to try and help out McFarland. Eventually dug free, kept in by Cunningham. Cunningham steps into one, saves Simon. Rebound goes into the corner where a Knight spins out. Cunningham will try again, blocker saves Simon, and now Post will get it out of the zone. 55 seconds gone on Arcadia's second power play. We are tied at 1, approaching the 11-minute mark of this second period. McFarland able to avoid a hit as he plays the puck in, but nobody crashing for Arcadia, and it's an easy clear. And Kershaw will leave it for Williams. One of the 3 Williams goals this season came on the power play against Stevenson last weekend on the road. And a big battle for the puck behind the post net. Eventually won by Arcadia. Their power play down to 20 seconds. Michael Benkovitz dances along the blue line. Lets the shot go. Save Simon. Rebound. They score! Arcadia scoring on the rebound. And it's Bryce Battaglia for the second straight game, putting Arcadia in front. It's a power play goal. Arcadia 2, Post 1, 10:20 remaining in the second period. And it looks like Arcadia might be going right back to the power play. After the goal, I heard a whistle, and I wasn't sure if the goal was going to be waved off, but there was pushing and shoving away from the play, and James Hope has been escorted to the penalty box for Post. So Murray's penalty time has been erased as Arcadia scores on the power play. They're now 1 for 2 today, 1 for 3 on the weekend. And as Battaglia is credited with his second of the season.
Along with 23, Michael Benkovitz.
And it's Hope in the box for roughing.
Second of the season, the assist and putback, Michael Benkovitz.
So is it all starting to fall apart for Post? They get the 1-0 lead. Then Arcadia ties it up. They give up a quick power play to the Knights. Arcadia scores and sends Arcadia right back to another 2-minute power play. Can Arcadia really make this hurt and get a third goal with this power play? But they'll have to do it from their own zone. Arcadia's power play today, 1 for 2. As we just crossed the midway point of this game. Here's Cunningham looking for Iannucci, but it takes a deflection out of play. Arcadia trailed 1-0 after 1 yesterday. Connor Williams tied the score at 1 in the second, and then Arcadia went off late with 3 in the final 5 minutes to win the game 4-1. Today, the timing slightly changed, but the script reading the same. Post leads 1-0. Arcadia tying the game through Connor Williams, taking the lead through Bryce Battaglia. This puck hard off the glass, back into the Arcadia end, played by Croshaw, and the puck skips over the stick of Burback. McCall eventually was providing the pressure, but he'll eventually back off. Here's Benkovitz ahead to the goal scorer Battaglia. He dumps one out in front, and Cole couldn't stuff it home. Puck with Battaglia. Now for Burback. Snap shot through traffic, and that goes off Simon out of play. 9:07 remaining in the second. 48 seconds remaining on the Hope Minor for roughing. Arcadia leads 2-1. This is the first of 2 non-conference series for Arcadia this season. Post wins the faceoff. Kennedy tries to go up the far wall, couldn't get it out. At the point, here's Benkovitz. Snapshot caught by Simon. In the MEC, there are 8 teams, and you'll play the other 7 3 times. So that's 21 conference games in a 25-game schedule. That only leaves 3 non-conference windows. Arcadia opted not to play the opening window, October 31st, November 1st, but they're playing this time as Burback is offside. Arcadia won the faceoff, but Burback stick-handled out of the zone and came right back in. And then the final non-conference window for Arcadia will be right after the new year, January 2nd and 3rd. Arcadia will hit the road and go to New York to take on St. John Fisher. Arcadia wins the neutral zone draw. Gaining the zone is Benkovitz, and Simon will scoop this shot off the ice. The Arcadia power play down to 25 seconds. And those road games for Arcadia at St. John Fisher start a very busy month for Arcadia away from home. During the month of January, Arcadia will play 10 games, just 2 at home, 8 away. As after the save by Simon, the Eagles get it out. One final rush for Arcadia, the power play down to 12 seconds. Burback up for Cole. Mistay able to hold the line, and Arcadia's onside. Pitchforked around by Battaglia. First one there, Kimball. He'll chip it back out in the neutral zone. Post with the kill. It remains 2-1. McMains pops this up in the air. Try to be played by Kimball. Santoro couldn't find it. Ends up with McMains. Back to Kennedy. Kennedy holds to the goal line, McMains. He'll play it back to Kennedy. He'll send one through a crowd save Croshaw. Here's Montague crashing forward. Good play by Hadawanak, taking it off his stick. Santoro and Mistake tie up. It's kick free to Montague. He's run into by Hadawanak. Now it's Kimball on his backhand for a drive. That goes wide. Penalty upcoming against Arcadia. Simon finally getting the signal to come through as this shot is blocked in front. Eventually touched by Hadawanak. And Post will go back to the power play. That was very good offensive zone time by the Eagles. They eventually draw the penalty against Arcadia. And Post will go back to the power play. They are 1 for 2 so far today, getting the goal through Scotty Swain. And it's one of the alternate captains for Arcadia, Cody Mistay, going back to the box.
Arcadia penalty number 9, Cody Mistay.
Mistay, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Santoro wins this faceoff to begin the power play, but it goes off the wall and past Kimball. With speed, here is Scotty Swain. He'll whip it around the boards. Schweitzer first one there, and he'll go down the middle for the clear. And we get a whistle, and the official behind the play has his arm up. And I think we're about to be evened up. And skating to the sin bin is Bradley McMains. Well, hang on. I thought I saw, wait, there's a post player in the box. The Eagles did have 5 players on the ice. Eventually they take one away. I was slightly confused for a second. Post still had 5 skaters out there, but I saw McMains go to the box. So he is sitting for 2 minutes. So that'll do it for Post's third power play. 7:07 to go in the second. Arcadia leading 2-1. We'll skate 4 aside for the next minute 38, and then Arcadia will have 22 seconds of power play time.
2 minutes and contact.
So the official call is McMains for 2 minutes, contact to the head. And that canceled out the Post power play. Kennedy with a big hit, upending, I believe that was McFarland, as this shot whistles wide. Here's Bachman keeping the puck in along the blue line. He'll pitchfork it to the far wall, and now here's Hope skating it out for Post. But he's denied by the stick of Bachman. Second effort, Post gets it out and into the Arcadia bench. I mentioned what Arcadia has upcoming for Post. They'll return home to take on Franklin Pierce in Northeast 10 action on Tuesday at 7:30, and then hit the road in December to take on Southern New Hampshire. Face-off won by Battaglia of Arcadia. 56 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4. Here's Meyer. He'll wrap it around the wall. Stopped by Norling. Norling ventures to the goal line. He'll spin back and look for an option. Try to get it to a cutting Meyer. Good sweep check by Williams. Slows him up. Meyer leaves it from Noble. He'll skate forward. Noble in on goal save. Croshaw, and he'll smother the rebound with Noble continuing to crash. And now some more nastiness after the whistles. Williams and Meyer have to be separated. .6:03 to go in the second. 34 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4. Then Cody Mistay will come out of the box, and Arcadia will have a 22-second power play. Shooter and Howe will do battle, and it's won by the senior shooter. And up the ice comes Daniel Hodowanak. Puck checked off his stick by Howell. Garnsey in a foot race to the puck. He'll get there first ahead of McGuigan, but then McGuigan pushes it forward. He's cut off by Hodowanak. Hodowanak able to jam the puck free for Garnsey. 12 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Garnsey tied up with Howell. Good work by Shooter getting back. He'll play it over to Hodowanak on the left wing. Mistay out of the box in 2 seconds. Here's a shot by Cole. Blocker saves Simon. Mistay out of the box. Arcadia to its 4th power play for 17 more seconds. Here's Hodowanak. He'll play it down low. Puck jammed out in front, and it's under Simon. .5:17 remaining in the second. 2-1 Arcadia. Shots in this middle period, 15-8 in favor of the Knights. For the game, shots are 25-20 in favor of Arcadia. CJ Bachman out to take this offensive zone draw for the Knights. He'll win it back to Burback. 6 seconds to go on the power play. Cunningham through traffic saves Simon, and the rebound comes back out to the sophomore. Down low, it's Bachman. Scotty Swain out of the box. We're back to full strength, so Arcadia does not score on the abbreviated power play, but they are keeping the pressure up. Saves Simon on the shot by Cunningham. Burback able to keep this puck in. Plays it down low. Iannucci lost his stick momentarily. Post able to sweep it behind their own net. Iannucci getting tangled up and thrown down behind the post cage. And now it's on behind the post net. Iannucci taken to the ice. Not sure who the Eagle is that fell on top of him. And both teams banging their sticks along the boards. Iannucci being helped to his feet. And it was Michael Montague, the sophomore from Saratoga Springs, New York, that was doing battle with Iannucci. And let's see how the officials sort this one out. Both penalty box doors open. So Iannucci in for Arcadia. Montague sitting for Post. 4:42 remaining in the second. And right now the official's trying to figure out who's missing a stick. So it looks like we'll stay 5 aside as the Eagles put 5 players on the ice. And Ryan Beckman, one of our 2 officials, the other being Terrence Johnson, he's telling Arcadia, yeah, put 5 on the ice. We'll check that. It'll be, let's see, Post has 5 on the ice, Arcadia with 3. They're now getting Williams out for a 4th. So Iannucci's been given a double minor. And now everything's just come off the board. Nick Jermolenko's coming in to the penalty box. He'll sit with Iannucci. So now the only penalty on the board is Michael Montague being shown for 2 minutes, and they're still trying to sort this out. I assume what's happening is Iannucci's been given a double minor. So it'll be 5 on 4. And the only penalty that needs to be shown is Iannucci. And Post back to the power play once they get it squared away. Post 1 for 3. So here's Bradley McMains for Santoro. Santoro holds. Down low, McMains. He'll come out near side, played for Kimball. Up top, Kennedy. Kennedy tried to get to McMains, but the Knight got his stick in the way. Puck still in the Arcadia end with McMains. Behind the net, here's Swain. He has the post goal. Up top for Kennedy. 1 to let it go. Instead plays it for Swain. He will take a shot, but it flashes high the crossbar. Good work by Post on this power play so far. That still has 1:15 to go. Santoro at the dot. Goes cross ice for McMains. Here's a shot by Kennedy that flutters high. And a good job from his knee by Schweitzer, able to clear. Arcadia racing off for a change. Post will do the same. 3:37 to go in the period. 54 seconds to go on the Post power play. Here's Meyer onside, lets it go, caught by Croshaw and covered. So just to put a bow on what happened at the other end, well, they still on my screen doesn't show what Iannucci was given, but Montague was given 2 for holding. I assume Iannucci got the same and then an additional 2 minutes for roughing. Post wins the faceoff. Here's Meyer, throws one through the crease, no one there, and the puck comes out of the zone. .24 seconds remaining on the Post power play. Here's Wyatt Noble gaining the red line. He'll flip it in. Croshaw out of his blue paint to play the puck. He'll send it around the far wall, kept in by Norling. Worked around to Meyer. Meyer along the goal line, throws it back. No one was ready for it. It eludes Norling back into the Post zone. That will do it. Jermolenko out of the box. Arcadia back to even strength. Post now 1 for 4 today on the power play. Shot by Norling, sticked aside by Croshaw. Down to 2:30 remaining in the second. Here's Hudawanak playing it away from McQuegan. And the puck chipped out of the zone. Here comes Nate McFarland. McFarland in on goal, save Simon as McFarland's taken to the ice. Arcadia will go back to the power play once Post makes the touch. Burback slap shot, that goes off a Post leg into the corner. McQuegan makes the touch, and now we'll get the call with 2:08 remaining in the second. Ryan O'Connell, the senior from Carmel, New York, heading to the penalty box. Arcadia to the 5th power play of the game. And the official call is tripping. And that was caused by the tremendous forecheck by Nate McFarland, the first year from Brompton, Ontario. Able to win the foot race to the puck and kept charging toward the net. The only play the senior O'Connell had was take McFarland to the ice. Face off to the left of John Simon, dug out by Battaglia. Here's Benkovitz through a screen, and it takes a deflection over the blocker of Simon. Arcadia changing up the power play a bit, going with 2 defensemen and 3 forwards. Typically, it's what you see a lot of now, 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. Here's Benkovitz. He'll play it around the wall. Stopped by mistake for Battaglia. He gets tied up by a couple of players. Gets it back to Burbach. Good keep on his backhand. Benkovitz able to keep it in the post zone, but it's controlled by Mikkel. He's able to get it into neutral ice. 1:17 remaining on the Arcadia power play. 1:22 to go in the period. Knights leading 2-1. And this puck sent all the way down by the Eagles. Both teams will change the special team unit. Michael Benkovitz will start the rush for Arcadia. Benkovitz going coast to coast. Shot from the dot goes wide. And now Benkovitz, the only Knight still on the ice from that first unit, he'll go off. It's now Williams and Cunningham, the D pair on this power play. That's down to 37 seconds. This is McFarland, able to get away from Pacheco, but Noble gets there first and then dumps McFarland to the ice. Puck with Cunningham. Toe drag, shot, save Simon. Eagles clear. Time for one final push for Arcadia. 13 seconds to go on the power play, 20 left in the period. Here's Cunningham. He overskated. Good work by McQuegan. And Arcadia has to go back into its own zone with 3 seconds to go on the power play. O'Connell out of the box. We're back to even strength. And that should do it for period number 2. But it's been a very, very busy second period. All 3 goals in this hockey game coming in this middle stanza. First, it was Scotty Swain on the power play for Post at 6:29, giving the Eagles the 1-0 lead. The lead was short-lived, as just 54 seconds later, Connor Williams leveled the score at 1 with his 3rd of the season. And then at 9:40, Bryce Battaglia found the back of the net on the power play, giving Arcadia the 2-1 lead. Shots in that second period. Arcadia 17, Post 10, and there was lots of power play time in period number 2. Arcadia went 1 for 5 on the power play, while Post was 1 for 3. So we'll head to the final 20 minutes of the weekend. Arcadia leading Post 2-1.